Hello YouTube and welcome to lesson 14th of the Autodesk Maya 2017 tutorial series. So what we are going to do today is we're going to look at importing and grouping options inside of Maya and something called an outliner, which will make it easy for us to manage projects in the future. So if you want to create a very large animation scene, then working on models on the same Maya scene would be difficult and would take up memory. So what we actually do is we have to actually create individual objects and then save them in the file later on. So last time we actually modeled a car. So this is the car that we modeled last time, and I'm going to save this as a car. So if I want multiple objects, then what I do is inside the new scene. So after I design all the objects that I want, I can actually import it onto a single scene. So for example, to import it, I'm going to go into File. I'm going to go for Import. And inside of Import, you can see the previous work. So you can actually grab in any MB file. For example, I had this furniture right there and my rocket and my cars. Those are the models that we actually modeled in our previous lessons. So let's say, for example, let me import the car, press continue, and there you go, you actually get a car. So the car is there. Let me just turn on the two-sided lighting right over there. So I actually have my car over here along with the reference image, which I don't want to see. So I'm going to go into my show option and I'm going to go for image plane, so you can see that my car is actually there. And it's there. So let's say last time we actually modeled a rocket as well, so I want to bring that in as well. So I'm going to go for File, I'm going to go for Import, and inside of Import I can see the rocket, so it's loading right here. There you go. So it's loading, and then I'm going to bring the rocket over here as well using the same process. So there you go, there's my rocket just imported out. Press continue, and there you go, I got my rocket. I didn't actually color that out last time, so okay. So I'm going to bring out my furniture. For this I didn't combine, so I'm just going to go for my import. I'm going to import my next object right now. So let's go to import over here, and then because it's loading. So I'm going to import the furniture as well, because that's the model that we worked with last time. So just press continue, and inside the furniture I actually got my tire. Okay, so there you go, I got my three models and I didn't have to model them separately on inside of the same layer. So this is actually quite helpful if you want to create a large scene. So you are actually supposed to model them separately and then bring them in later on. So as time goes, what actually happens is you start having a lot of objects in your scene, so you need to manage those scenes as well. And for that, we use something called an outliner. So inside of Windows, you actually see something called an outliner. You can also access outliner from here. Onto the side, this is the outliner. Okay, so it's showing up right over here. So you can use the outliner from here, or you can go to Windows and use outliner. So when I select some object, what it actually does is it says car plane. So I know that this is from the car file and it is a plane object. So I can go for my furniture as well, and you can see that there are a lot of furnitures actually. So currently it's actually unmanaged. So when you actually start modeling, you actually have to start managing the outliner as well. Let's take an example. For a while, let's say I create an object over here. I have to delete all of these now because it's actually taking up a lot of space. So I'm going to go over here till the bottom and press delete, just like that. Okay. So once I create this, you can see that my cube object is here. I can actually rename this to surface or anything. I can actually rename the layer. So this is similar to the layer concept. And I have my cube over here. So you can see my pcube 2 is there. So this is my cube. So I can rename that out as well. And my sphere over here. So whenever I name, so I can see that you actually get the layers over here. So you don't actually have to select. If you lose an object, what you can do is you can actually go to the left side and select the object. So once you actually group these out, once you combine these out, let's see what happens. So I can go to mesh and I can go to combine, and what it actually does is it creates a separate surface. So now these are actually just there. So if I were to go to surface, this is actually acting as one object right here. And you can also select this. So if you were to select it directly on the viewfinder, then it actually selects the surface layer. But you can actually also select the individual groups just like this and then move these according to your will as well. So which is a very good option provided by Maya. But if you were to select the history, so let's go for modify. Let's go for select, create, edit, delete all by type and history. It actually deletes all of those. So now this is there as a single object right there. So let me just use my extract faces right over here to change this out. So let me just go over here inside my edit mesh and then go for extract. And what it actually does is it creates a separate layer over there. So this is the polyplane 1 and 2 right here. Let me do the same for this one. So select the faces and then extract this out. So we'll go for extract. And then there you go, I got actually 3 objects. So I can bring these out. I'm going to hold my middle mouse button over here and then drag these out. Outside of these are actually the groups. So I'm going to drag this out. Middle mouse button. Okay, and then drag this out. Press the middle mouse button and then drag this out. Middle mouse button, drag this out. Okay. Okay, drag this out. Hold the middle mouse button and then drag this out. So we can actually drag these out of the layers as well. So this is, now press Ctrl Z because something's wrong over there because my colors are actually not showing up because I haven't applied any materials to this. So let me just apply materials to this. So sometimes it goes green. You can simply apply a material so that it does not go green like this. So let's go to object mode, right click, assign existing material, and then go for blend over here. All right, there you go. So now over here, you can also see I can parent the object. So if I were to group, if I were to combine, they actually become the same object. But if I were to group it, and to group it, I'm going to press Ctrl Z on my keyboard. What it actually does is it creates a group instead of a singular object. So if you use Photoshop, it's similar to what a folder does to layers. So I can select the group and then I can move the group right over here, or I can select individual object. And if you were to select the object in the viewfinder itself, then it actually selects the individual object instead of the group itself. So I can go to group and then it can select the whole group as well. So another concept is parenting as well. So I'm going to press the middle mouse button so I can select all of the 3 options right here. Press the middle mouse button, drag this out, and I can delete the group just like this. So you can see that even after I group the objects, I can actually rearrange this through the outliner. So let's say, for example, I want to create something called a parenting. For example, if you have a car body and if you have the tire, when the car body moves, the tire moves, but when the tire rotates, the car body stays still. So I want to parent it. So first, for the parenting, I can select the child. I'm gonna shift press the parent and press P. So once I do that, what actually happens is when I select the sphere, only the sphere moves, but when I select the parent, the sphere moves along with the parent. So I can do the same with this. I can select the child, select shift and select the parent, press P. What actually happens is this now is the parent. I can move them separately just like this. Okay, there you go. So what it actually does in the outliner is it creates a hierarchy. So this is polygonal surface 3. So this is the main plane, as you can see. And then this is the sphere, S-P-H-A-R, sphere. And then this is the rectangular shape. Okay, there you go. So now it's there, easy to understand. So if you want to unparent it, just select this. Middle mouse button and then drag this in. Now what I accidentally did is I middle mouse click to make this a child of sphere again. So once I select this, you can see that everything moves. Once I select the spheres, you can see that 2 objects move, and once I select this, one individual object move. And if you want to unparent it, just middle mouse button click, middle mouse click and drag, middle mouse click and drag. My middle mouse is not working correctly a bit, so that I'm having a hard time. Better buy a good mouse. So middle mouse click again. Okay, it's freezing out. Okay, there you go. So let me just go over here. I guess my computer just froze a bit. Okay, so my computer froze for a bit, so I restarted this. So now what actually happens is now I can actually parent this out. So in order to parent it, what you can actually do is you can middle mouse click and drag this onto the main shape as well, just like that. So middle mouse click over here, middle mouse click, drag it. My middle mouse is not working for some reason over here. Middle mouse click, and drag. Okay, there you go. So I can drag this in out to parent it like that as well. And I can press middle mouse and drag this out as well over here. So middle mouse click over here, middle mouse click over here, and drag this out in order to drag the shape out. So this was not supposed to happen actually. So just increase the shapes and set members and then show the namespace. Okay, so I can drag this in or out using my middle mouse button. So my middle mouse button is not working, so it is not actually working right here, but this is actually the process, so you get the idea. So that's how the parenting actually works. So you can import it. So what we actually learned about today is about importing, grouping, and the outliner technique. So this is how you can work in Maya, and then you can easily group the objects. So hope you guys learned something as always. And as